Basically, my life isn't going good. I have to say the right things because the right things are important to me. Because basically, they said the people I live with are. It's not that they're bad or not that they're good. It's that they're somewhere in a different existence of reality that exists. It's not the people that you think that you're thinking of. And if it was, then they're in the depressing same situation that I'm in, which is that I'm thinking of someone who exists somewhere that thinks of something that thinks of me, or thinking of something depressing that will fuck me over, but I'm doing my best I can. And it has to do with piano notes and whatever I think, and if it was slightly off, it's gonna be okay, not okay. If it's on tack, it's good, bad, not whatever. And basically different things of like same place, different place. And basically, I have to say depressing things because I have lost to someone who is, could I say, better than me, worse than me, or like someone who is bad or good. Personally, they are existence that are bad, but they are good because they're good. And I say that personally because if they're bad, then basically that means I'm a bad person too. But they're doing bad things, so basically they do bad things against me, which is bad, and they do their own things personally good for themselves, which is depressing. I do my own good things for good things, and I can do bad things to bad things, but depends when I would use that. And if I was doing bad things for something else, that's the depressing I'm talking about. Like basically, the depressing thing is when people show someone else's identity as someone else, which is fine, which is all good, right now. So basically, the thing is like living a different identity is good because it's my personal use is interesting because I do live different identities and different good lives and do good things, and sometimes they're different from people's reality, but that's why like-minded people are good. And same thing, so that's why I can't blame my father or I can't blame myself because it's not a bad thing because because it's what they think it is, and that's what it is. And I'm not going to talk about my father because my father is something that exists, and it's depressing that he's my father, not because he's my father, but because it has something to do with something else. And also, basically, there's things like I don't know, I'm gonna guess. So basically, that there's things where you stay positive and like you say, cause and effect. So basically, the cause and effect, you think this happened because of this, and you think that happened because of this. But basically, there's I don't know, which you're just saying I don't know, cause and effect, which is interesting. So what you're saying is that basically you don't know the effect and you don't know the cause. You just know that you don't know until you get there. Which has something to do with not, it's not something to do with basically, it's not something to do with basically, it's not something to do with, um, the basic I was talking about. It has something to do with basically your presence and where you presently are, and what we will call that isn't the it could be the basically the 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 whatever the they said yes, people do have magnetic fields, but that's what I'm depressed about. So if you're asking if I'm studying cause and effect, I'm studying many things, which is quite depressing. If I didn't say this in the right order, it's fine for now. Like for example, let's say I'm studying something like someone has a dream recall device, which means you can choose different places from your past, present, or future with your mind and add them into your timeline. And then you have technology, which basically records it, which makes it into a physical object, that makes it a physical object. A physical object, uh, which is a physical object, which makes it real in the real world if it's a physical object, and if it's not a physical object, then it's the double slit experiment of light, which is different. So that's why my father is, because he's literally the mental of what something is, because it all works together. It's just fine. So basically, you literally have to go there, or the light will split, and if it's mentally there, then you'll basically see it. But it's fine because it's going to be something else, and it's going to be depressing, and it's fine. Anyways, so now I gotta talk about my personal life. My personal life is for me and also myself. And I don't know much about what I'm talking about, but basically, it's, basically, I don't even know if I should be posting this because I'm depressed and I'm not happy because I'm depressed. And I'm not depressed, it's more that my life is not gonna go in the way I want to, and it's not gonna go good. But it will be okay that it's okay. They said that's okay. And and so basically the weird thing is someone's talking about spirit science, someone's talking about something else, something's talking about this, someone's talking about this. So the weird thing is basically I was basically checking with the piano. They said I'm not doing my personal. They said I'll go with my personal life for now. They said basically today I was trying to basically need to get what I needed to get, basically what I needed for a good life that I needed to get through. So a good life was I needed to find someone I can trust to do my research. The research was stuff like basically frequency body of light, light body, and also things like consciousness is the basis of your reality, and thoughts are basically things like tuning forks and things like that, basically different directions you can take that exist in the real world, and basically you can hear them depending on the people you hang out with. Um, Um, so the thing is, basically, they said, didn't you already do it if you did it? Basically, consciousness is at the basis, which is pretty important. Now, why I'm telling these people this information is because it's important to me. Not because it's important for other people, but it's important to me, because that's what I needed for the other people. Which is depressing because the other people I was looking for, I was close, but still didn't win. Now, here's something that I have something for a few other days. Basically, you basically have you from here and you from here. If you play that one here and that one here, it'll basically make two different sounds. Now, if you have the concept of money, which is value, as those values of money, which is those two sounds, and then you get money from that, it'll make your sound louder and better. If you lose, then basically they basically can adjust that sound and change it in different ways. And basically that happened today, but also basically that's why you start from a point system and then basically you just start where you just need to be, which is just basically still having enough points to be okay, which why today was a little difficult because someone was at 17.5. We started at 10 and then 2.5. So it rounded up to 3 for some reason, which was pretty good. So it's 18 and 3, which is a fucking crazy number for some reason, and I don't know why. Which is that something loops over again, which is okay with me, which I'm totally okay with that basically cycle is a time that people meet up at a place because it is literally a place you have been before. The doy. Anyways, but the math behind it is pretty simple, which is why I'm fucking depressed. Um, so basically, it's not that I got interrupted from someone. Okay, back to what I was saying. So, so I was looking for my regular place. My regular place. They said. So I was looking at my regular place. Which was that basically. They can't adjust the sounds with that. It's basically what they have of like the like basically that sound becomes like it becomes two different sounds in one sound. They said sorry. It becomes two different sounds in one sound, and then what they do with that is that, and basically that exists. And now what happens with it is that basically it goes and basically it exists as a sound, which is going to talk about later. Um, basically what I was going to explain everything to these people, which is literally like not my life research, but research that I have studied basically personally for my life, which is good. Um, the depressing thing is that basically some things screw up and some things don't. And the thing is, I don't know why I'm complaining. It's that basically, I never had someone bad on the internet, which that's not true. It's not that bad things was on the internet. It's more that the bad things on the internet are just bad things on the internet aren't bad. But the thing is the bad thing on the internet is used in a different way than it is supposed to for being the concept of the purpose of the concept of duality, which I'm going back to my saying, I am very sorry. Um, um, and it's not duality or trinity or unity. It's just that basically, it's the power that which you give in yourself or that which you give you others. But when it's something like the mask, it's like, what the fuck are you even doing? And it's not the power that which you give in yourself. It is basically the existence that you live here, and and what is it? And it's not that you exist here. Is that you exist here and you are existing and you basically exist, and what you exist, you they said you exist, and what am I talking? They said I. So So basically, my day was I looked for someone. So I went to get coffee, but then I went to the gym. So if you're asking if I got went to the gym, so the thing is, I got coffee first. I got coffee first, which was interesting. The question was, did I go to the gym today? I did go to the gym at nighttime, but if you're asking about the morning time, I did go to the gym yesterday, and I did go skating, and I did go uh, around town. Then I went and sat on the side of the road because the ancestry, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. The time was interesting because it was so glad that it was just not moving forward, and it was just some time when I could just exist and just relax because it was relaxing and it was okay because it was literally that. And if you look at the sky, it's probably true. And they said, and the pinpoints. The first one was I had to go get food, and then the second one was someone said no to basically asking for dialogue help because it wasn't a pinpoint. It was more of a basically my choices, which was good. Was there any pinpoints? There was one, which was basically a good one that I had. That was basically, let's say, tits. And they existed, which was good for the time. But then basically they existed, and I don't know where they went. But they were a good one, and then I basically had to act like I was doing normal because they were talking about like should I interrupt people or should I not interrupt people. That is some of the reason for. And basically I just went there. So that's basically when I went to the gym yesterday or whatever day that was. And it was a pretty good day to live out and exist. And then basically I just like did my normal thing like research, study, go and check out 24-hour fitness, flex my cock when I was horny, and then play basketball, and then go home and normal everyday stuff that felt normal to live there, which felt normal. But I was upset that the whole thing was a gym. And the gym does exist now because someone drew me because I was supposed to eat food and they were upset that I didn't eat food, which was okay, but they said something which is totally fine. Um, they said, um, um, mm, uh, 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 they said, alright, and the other thing is that basically the the dialogue thing, I uh, just blurted out NPC blah 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 blah, which is funny because I was just like love the chat. They said I don't even know. I don't even know. So so uh so basically they said what's this lighting? It's fine. I need better lighting anyways. So basically it so basically, I thought Matt had something to do with energy work, which why I'm trying neutral energy, because neutral energy is very good to have, because neutral energy is for some reason, I know it seems good, but it is good to have neutral energy, which is good. Um, I do seem ecstatic sometimes, but for some reason, having neutral energy feels normal, which is completely normal around my world around me, which is good. Now, basically, for the world on the internet, it does not seem to be helpful, which is okay. Now, basically, when I talk on the internet, it's very interesting because when I post something on the internet, it helps the internet grow, which is okay. Anyways, I'm going back to my discussion. So basically, um, the thing is, why did I say no to my father? It was because, or to my mother, was because basically they were watching stupid ass Star Wars shows because they wanted to watch kids to play Star Wars. Basically, they're putting stuff on the internet just to fuck with me, and then basically it's basically just the internet, and it's connected to a satellite, so it's connected to the wires that's connected, and every time you change it, it changes. So I'm not good with technology, but I know it's connected to a satellite. It could be connected to a satellite. I don't know. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. But it could be connected to the satellite that changes the poles of stuff when you change the poles of the stuff, which changes the. Does it really change the Earth? I don't know. But if it does, I am totally fine. I'm not fine with that. But that's. I don't know if it does that. And then the internet goes around because it connects to other people. And the thing is, the depressing thing is when it's connected to basically things like Dream Recall, Dream blah blah blah, it's basically the same thing as the internet, but it's something over the internet. So it's going at the same time, and it can be any points on top of that, and those points are basically how people would view me for stuff like basically my reflection or basically my not Chrysler, but because that's my physical body, it's more of a um um what's it fucking called? Uh um they said we're gonna talk about objects have memories because that has to do with dreams and sense of identity. So the sense of identity has something to do later with dreams, which is okay. But we're gonna go back because I'm talking too much. which is very interesting that I'm talking too much because I'm completely calm, which is okay, and I'm okay, which is okay. So, um, um, the depression thing is that basically, if it's not true, then it's not true. But basically, when you change something on the internet changes. Is that true? No. Basically, people watch what they watch, what they watch. But basically, people watch the same things with likability score and things that they watch in the same district. So basically, things in the district basically go around in the district and they spread around basically like the internet, which is the grid that we're talking about. Which is basically people in the circle share things and blah 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 blah. And basically, how people will see me on the internet or in dreams is probably dependent on them. And we're not going to talk about basically idea of mirror identities, but basically what you know in them in their mind is basically what you know about them in the real world. And the emotional body is what they do. So the emotional body is how you affect them. So what has my father been doing? Um I'm just gonna leave it there. Uh um let's just call it magic for now. Now crystal is different because it's the physical body in the physical thing, and we're not going to call it the Big Bang because if it was a Big Bang, it's a different thing. But I'm getting off subject because I'm getting off subject because double slit experiment, blah blah blah. The depressing thing is that basically how people see you will not look good, which is okay if people see you. They said the question is, what do people see? They said, um, they said, so, um, basically, the depressing thing is that they said, okay, so basically, back to my subject about today. So, does it affect people? It does, basically, dream recall is basically that, and then internet is that. So, what is the internet? Internet is basically the internet has the social life. It does not affect the social life, and if it does, then I am very fucked, which is fine. Um, the social life is basically the internet on people that you know or the people that exist, which is totally normal. If it gets spread throughout other people, then other people will know, and then that's okay because it is okay. Because what if other people know, then basically they can do what they want with it and exist with their stuff. So that's why basically some things are free and some things are for basically personal use, which is okay, which is totally fine. Um, Now, if you're asking if I want to put this on the internet or put this on Instagram, that's a different thing. Cause I'm talking, it's fine. I said I'm not talking like this cause I'm talking. It's just I'm trying to wing it for some reason. I'm losing, but it's fine. So basically, this is personally for me, and I'm trying to decide if I want to put it on Instagram or on YouTube. And this is on the internet. So this is on the internet because what we share on the internet is basically for personal use. So if you share it for personal use, it's personally what people need. But if it gets deleted, then it's gone and burnt or blah blah blah, or basically it was lost somewhere where someone else can find. Which I'm upset because I had a thought phone with like sacred geometry, thought, psychic, and other things. And I recorded myself on it because I knew it was one, and then someone just replaced it like a fucking. And then I have a new one which is like energy work, but blah blah blah. They said, now, does the reflection, they said, now, we're gonna go talk about neutral energy later. Um, so, uh, they said, so what do I think my dad is? Basically, he's mentally of something what I manifested through the law of attraction. So the law, they said, I don't think it's the law of attraction. It wasn't the law of attraction. It was basically that he existed here. They said it wasn't the law of attraction. So basically, idea is that there's a net. and the net of people can literally make something exist. But with one person, you can literally make something exist with just basically attracting it physically. So you can attract something physically with just by, they said, a class of a magician doesn't exist here, but if it literally did, I would be so fucking glad if that existed, and I am now fucking happy and depressed. Okay, um, so um, I don't know why I said that, but I feel happy I said that. Okay, they said, okay, they said, okay, okay, they said, okay, they, oh,
Okay, so okay.
okay. Basically, hold on, I need a pause. They said, okay, back to what I was saying. Basically, people can literally make something up with basically the law of attraction. Which basically it's that basically there's a magnetic field and the magnetic field around you can literally make things. But it's not that it's the magnetic field. It is that basically it's the mental that basically brings that light into a physical object into 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 the physical thing that it is, which is interesting. Now, it's basically that your mental mind made a physical thing with the law of attraction into a physical thing, which we don't know how to do, but it sounds basic, but it doesn't sound basic. It doesn't sound basic. But it can literally do that, which is you can make a physical thing by physically making it, which we don't, which is something, but basically it has the idea to do with energy. So it's like you make a sound wave, and this sound wave exists. So basically, if you made a sound wave, it's like a speaker. So it's like a speaker, but it literally makes something exist. Which I don't understand how that makes sense, but I have to calm down real quick. Basically, it doesn't make sense because it makes me upset. That basically, you can literally make something into a real thing by basically, uh, they said, basically, I don't know, you make it into a real thing. So, I can't. They said, um, yeah, I just can't. I can't explain it. But basically, if you put sound in a picture and then made it into a real thing, that would be what it is. But I can't explain how it is. But basically, my father feels like they said, look, I have a cat. Anyways, um, if you they said so basically, uh, um, um, So it's not the depressing thing that I can't do that. It's that basically I don't know what that is right now, which is the depressing thing. Um, basically, um, basically, basically, the depressing thing is, I don't know what it is that makes me upset, which is why I'm upset. So basically, I'm not saying my dad is not my dad. I'm saying that basically I don't know why my dad is a bad dad, which is okay. I'm still getting to where I'm getting. So, um, hmm. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Basically, I have a normal life, just doing normal research of like physical builds and physical understandings, like 3D printers with a 3D design of 3D orthographic designs and other things like that. So you get three different sides, get three different angles, and then just put it into a 3D object, and it's fine. Good, just a grid of blah blah blah. But that confused everyone, but it's fine. So I'm not saying it's science fiction or blah blah blah. It's just that um it just doesn't make sense how something could exist just out of nowhere. So can something just exist out of nowhere? Basically, it's basically it exists because it exists there. They said basically it exists because it existed. So it exists because you literally made it. So how do I describe it? Basically, it's like the idea that basically, how do I fucking explain it? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't studied that. It's nothing I have studied before. I don't know how to make something into a physical thing, which is interesting. But that is a thing that people have studied before, how to make something into a physical thing, which I am not going to talk about. But if you had made something into a physical thing, it's probably like art or something. But we're not going to talk about that. But we are going to talk about. They said, how do you make something into a physical thing? They said, okay, I'm going to stop right there. The world is infinite. Where the fuck do you think things come from? And if it's not infinite, then it's basically where you live, and it's just that. So basically, you know, like a phone charger, you charge your phone or your computer or your camera or your camera. They said, so basically, how do you think it takes pictures? It takes pictures like that. Now, how do you think it takes pictures? It's like that. So it basically takes a picture and it takes a picture. How it creates the picture is basically through light. They said, how does it create a picture? Through light. So you see that, and then it creates it back to you, which is the exact same thing, but on the outside world. So you create it, and then it goes on the outside world. Um, which what you do, but you basically go. It's basically that. Basically, you take a picture, and then you how do you how do I describe it? You basically I don't know how to fucking describe it. They said I'm just gonna. They said I don't know if you can literally make things out of thin air, but that would be super awesome. And if that does exist, that would be super awesome. Anyways, so basically I'm going to tell you what I said. Everything I said, cause and effect does everything that's important because it is. And if you say I don't know, then basically you're just trying to make it positive so that good has good and bad cause effect. The thing is, it's still cause and effect, but basically it's still the same thing. You're just saying I don't know because you're being more flexible because you don't like the cause that is having the effect, which is the cause and effect. So that's why you're trying to be flexible and picking the causes you like and the effects you don't like, which is basically the same thing as basically picking a different note than you need than what you different need what you need. And then basically I talked about my life, which is basically yesterday, and then basically I talked about how things like sound can just be like different sounds and they work together, and the different sounds that exist work together, and yeah, because I played a game with someone and someone played a game with me, and that's fine. And now, did they actually do that? It depends where they are, so it's fine. So now back to what I was saying. Can you make something into physical light? Physical things. Yes, you can make things into physical things. It's called basically fusing, not fusing. Like there's like smelting. There's like drawing. There's like folding. There's like law of attraction. There's like um crafting. There's many things, but the real ones are basically the real ones, and that's why I say consciousness is the basis of reality, because we don't have to go and describe the whole fucking thing. And I'm sorry that I had to sound rude, but basically, I'm not worried about that right now. And if I do, I would like to explain it so I could do it myself when it's good, because that would sound awesome. And if people did it themselves, good for them. If they didn't, then fuck, I don't care. Um, um, So the difference between doing something different and doing something different is different. So I know I didn't, and I just know I didn't. But have I ever didn't do what I didn't do? They said yes, people have done what they didn't do. But the thing is, have anyone done what they um couldn't have done. They said, basically, has anyone have they done what they couldn't have done? People can only do what they couldn't have done. Hold up, sorry, cat. I have to push you over. People can only do what they couldn't have done. This is cat. People can only do what they couldn't have done. If they play things like do different things like, basically, it's already a note that they have. But if they couldn't have done it, that means they could have done it, and they can do it in different ways. But they just couldn't do it because they couldn't have done it because they had to do it in a different way that would make them be able to do it. Which basically they have to do it in the way that they have to do it so that they can do it and people can be good at what they needed to do. Which was good. Which is good. Which is good. Which is good. So now the thing is, what they couldn't have done is like things like what they needed to get done. So what they needed is like what they needed. So when someone says they couldn't have, that means they probably shouldn't. So basically they probably shouldn't do what they need to do. But basically when they say I couldn't do it, they probably shouldn't do it. But if they do it, then they're doing it, and they're basically starting from basically not the major notes, but minor notes of what they have, which is very interesting to know. And the minor notes, if they don't play well, then you're probably just screwed. So if they do play well, play it right. And if it does play well and it doesn't look right, just hope God is on your side. What they said. I did wander off, which you are probably expecting me to say. I'm sorry I wandered off, but the thing is, uh, um, um, uh, so you're like saying people can do anything because of free will. Yes, everyone has free will, which is true, which is basically what they choose on their path is the path that they choose. So the path they choose is the path that they exist, and the path they exist. Which the question is, where does their choices come from? It comes from them from the past, future, or from other notes. And where the other people come in, basically it comes in as two different wavelengths coming together, which is good to know. Basically it's them, and then basically it's their wavelength working with your wavelength. Does that sound narcissistic? No, basically they can say anything to you and you'll understand it. And what they hear is their exact words as what you understand, which is like a translator. And if they say something negative, which is obviously going to be negative, the question is, has anyone said negative things that wasn't negative? That is a thing that is basically something we're going to talk about later, because I don't want to go over that again. If we are going to go over that, we'll talk about that later. They said, like again, a speaker goes with sound, and a speaker is with sound. And we're not gonna go with speakers because it literally makes no sense. Because it is literally something that is not. They said, it's fine. It's a speaker, which is good, which is lovely, wonderful, neutral, perfect. Anyways, I am a wonderful fellow. Okay, I have a few minutes left. I'm gonna have this pause. basically what I did was basically walk around, look for someone. Then I found basically a nice guy. I got my coffee, talked to a Chinese person who I thought was Indian, smoked a cigarette with them. Do I smoke a cigarette? I just talked to them. Got some candy, which was Airheads. Don't know if it was nutritious, but I joked about nutrition. And was it before then, after then? Depends. And then basically I got, they said nutritious candy, does that exist? We're going to talk about that later. It just gives you energy because it's sugar, which is good. And sugar is good for you because sugar is basically the basics of energy, which we're going to talk about later. We all forgot about that, but it's fine. And then basically I went to that, talked to an Indian girl, she was nice, kissed her on the hand, she was like, thank you, bye, see you later. Then basically I talked to this person named this one because I needed to research, which was the librarian, and the librarian talked to me because the librarian needed to talk to me. I was looking for a researcher to help do research with, and then basically I did research with this, and then basically after I did research with this, I talked to someone named Leslie, which was good, but she was fat, which was upsetting. Not the Leslie that I saw in the gym, or the person I saw in the gym, which was super athletic and super healthy, and I was healthy too. The thing was, I talked to her, and I felt like she was my higher self, which was good, and my higher self said, "Oh, thank you," or it was my neutral energy, which I very much wanted, and she was a lovely talker. And then she said, "What? How do you feel about how a robot going up your ass and hitting around the once?" And then basically this person who sounded like a person of a sound, which was basically someone from the future and not their higher selves, was talking to me because it was someone from the future, which was very weird, but it was a librarian I never saw before, and they told me I had to leave, so I walked around because I needed to know, because I felt like there was a snake there, and the snake felt like it was going to be there, and the snake was going to be there. So basically I had to wait there, but then I stayed there, basically the guy on the internet left, and I basically needed them to leave, but I had to go because I felt like I needed to go. And then I walked around outside and went home. Did they go home too? I don't know. But then they sat next to the person who was also fat who kept the cat hat on, which was okay. And then it felt like negative energy, which was okay because it was negative energy, which is totally fine. Does my father feel like a bad note in a mental object that basically is seen only if you see it through a light? Is it anything that I know? Basically, is my father an image in a light that is an object that is a mentally object that is a mental object that sees through light? Um, um, Probably, but it's okay because there's something to do with religion for some reason. And we are just going to talk about that later. And I'm not saying religion, I'm saying basically the concept of my father, which is weird because I don't know what it's about, but I have some sort of concept of what the father means to me. And it's okay to me that I know that, but it's important to me because it exists, because it is meaning that basically it's just me and it's me when it's okay, which is good. Now, basically, something with a brain obviously has neural pathways, which is we shouldn't do it, and that's why we're talking about Matt smoking weed, which is basically he's a moron, and I don't care if he's a moron because basically we're just gonna decide because we need. Basically, nutrition does work for a cat, which is why the cat is good, which is good because a black cat is good, it's because it's healthy nutrition. Matt does eat healthy food, which is good, and he does do the. Is he athletically fit? He does go on walks, but it's fine. I am also going on walks. And the cat needs to go outside, but I do have my mother go on walks with the cat, which is normal. And the cat does have stuff to play with, it just goes around. Now, nutrition is normally good for normal things. Now, energy work is energy work for a good body, but basically it's all mental plan because it's on the mental plan. Basically, if you think this, it's an assumption because it's altitude of sound. Now, um, um, now it's just shouldn't do that. Basically, it depends on because it's emotional well-being because it's behind mind. And now it's over. Now drawing is basically they like sound and drawing sounds and just art, which is good. They just like visualize and normal things and just like the normal day fashion, which is good. They like that. That's it. I don't know. Now what I said is that the TV is connected to the internet, which is people view me on the internet or in the dream, which is interesting. Now what does that have to do with me in different places? Um, so what do I know about technology? I know that technology can literally do things like commands, and basically you command an object. So basically you can have 3D printers, so there's objects on a grid and then you place objects on a grid, which is normal. And then basically how you do it is just basically you map it out on a grid, then you make it 3D, which is good, which is just height and depth and regular things. And then basically regular stuff is just that which is the pathways between the wire, which is totally normal, which is the upsetting thing is basically the internet basically on a small computer, which is cool. Or just all true statements. Which why I wanted the phone. Which why I'm upset. Which is so fucking annoying because I wanted one of those. Because that would have been awesome. Basically my phone, but better, but also everything, but better, but awesome, but everything, but you better. Basically, it's like wires that connect things, which is basically you can connect things, which is like energy points, but basically it's energy points with basically you connect this, so basically you get a battery. So basically you get a wire, which is this encoded item, which is basically, let's say, a positive and negative charge, and then you put it in a wire, and then you put something like a light switch, and then basically you put that light switch wire to a LED light. Then you click that light switch turns on, light switch turns off. That's how a command works. I'm done talking because I'm too much solid, and I'm too done. And I need to go later because I have to say I wanted this for 45 minutes. Thanks!